To rent or to buy? That's the age-old question we hear all the time, and probably a question we've all asked ourselves at some point in our lives. When this question gets asked, should you rent or should you buy? I feel like everyone's natural response is you should buy. You should stop paying your landlord's bills and start investing in yourself, in your own mortgage. I wholeheartedly agree with this statement. However, purchasing a real estate asset is a huge decision, and you have to understand if it's right for you and if the timing is right for you. So if you're on the fence about continuing to rent or thinking you might want to make a purchase, stay tuned for these next few minutes. I'm Jamie Lindsay, and here are some reasons I find buying to be in your best interest. First thing I want to talk about is the down payment. The most common way to buy a property is to get a home loan, which we call a mortgage. When you get a mortgage, you also have to bring in some cash to supplement the mortgage, and that's called your down payment. I want to clear up a little bit of a misconception though. I think a lot of buyers think that they have to bring in an astronomical amount as their down payment. However, that's not really the case. The 20% number that a lot of people feel they need as their down payment doesn't always apply to everyone. I have buyers in all sorts of different financial situations. Some of my buyers put 5 and 10% down. Some of my buyers put 50% down. Again, like I said, it depends on what your financial situation is. And in some cases, buyers can qualify to put as little as 3% down of the purchase price. And if you've ever served in our military, thank you for your service, and you qualify for a VA or a veterans loan, which is a 0% down loan. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 0% down, no down payment loan. So if you're on the fence and struggling that you think you need this huge amount to put down in order to buy a property, let's connect because there might be different amounts that can help you secure your purchase. Next up is controlled monthly payments. When you purchase a property, you know what your monthly mortgage payment is going to be every single month. It's a fixed amount, it doesn't change. And when you buy a property, your mortgage lasts for a really long period of time, like 30 years. So every month for 30 years, you know exactly what your payment is going to be. There's no surprises. However, when you rent a property, you're subject to the ever-changing rental market, and in San Diego, the ever-rising rental market. Maybe your landlord raises your rent. Maybe your landlord gives you a notice to vacate. Maybe your landlord sells the property that you're renting, and the new owners give you a rental increase. All of these things leave you scrambling, and you're not really in control of your monthly costs. Lastly, interest rates are still extremely low. Today's interest rate is hovering right above 3%, which means you can borrow money pretty cheap. Did you know that interest rates over the past 50 years have never been so low? For example, in the 1980s, the average interest rate for a home was above 16%. That's 5 times the average interest rate today. And why this matters for you is a lower interest rate lowers your monthly payment, which then means you can likely afford a larger mortgage and probably a more expensive home. There are so many short-term and long-term benefits to owning versus renting. Just to name a few: home value appreciation, equity in your property, tax savings and benefits, a forced savings account with your mortgage. So if you're on the fence as to whether you should continue renting or perhaps pursue a purchase, reach out to me and let's discuss your specific scenario.